A year after the convoy came to the Capitol, can you reflect on where you think the movement is right now? I mean, there's clearly a heightened police presence here. There are protesters outside. Do you feel the movement has grown? Do you feel it's abated? What's your read on what's happened over the past 12 months?
Did you notice that smirk?
I think that's a better question to ask Mr. Poilievre. He seems a lot closer to the convoy. My approach is very much on making sure that we're delivering good jobs and good opportunities.
We're not going to go through the full 5 minutes of this, people. 5 minutes and 38 seconds. I guess maybe a little less if you include the question at the beginning. 5 minutes of psychopathy. Notice the question was, your reflections on the protest? I'm going to leave that to Pierre Poilievre, and now I'm going to go on to a 5-minute unhinged tirade.
For Canadians. We know that people are worried and even frustrated about how the world is unfolding around them.
No. Do you notice that? When I call Justin Trudeau a psychopath, a narcissist, it's not a clinical diagnosis. It's an observational opinion. Do you notice how one element of personality disorder, narcissism, sociopathy, whatever you want to call it, it's never taking responsibility. It's always deflecting and passing the buck of responsibility onto somebody else. What does he do here? What does he do here?
Worried and even frustrated about how the world is unfolding around them.
Worried about how the world is unfolding around them. No, Justin Trudeau, I'm worried and concerned and frustrated about how you are destroying my country. I'm concerned, upset, and enraged about what you, through your policy, have done to my fellow citizens, to my friends, to my family, to me. Not the world unfolding around me like you have no active part in it. You psycho. I know I'm going to get angry and I'm going to get frustrated, and people say, Viva, you shouldn't call Justin Trudeau a psychopath. I've had friends say, yeah, that language is too hyperbolic. It's too over the top. If you don't watch this and understand that you are listening to an actual psychopath talking, then we have differences of opinions, and I prefer mine.
And as a politician, you have two choices. You can either try and amplify those fears, make people even madder, reflect that anger and that uncertainty that people are legitimately feeling because the world is changing in unpredictable ways.
You can either amplify that, which I didn't do when I said those people are putting us all at risk. They're putting at risk their children, and they're putting at risk our children. Those people are putting us all. Oh no, I didn't amplify it. I didn't direct the rage. I wasn't the source of promoting vitriol. They're racist. They're misogynist. They're anti-gay. They're anti-Semitic. Oh no, I didn't do any of that. If you thought you heard that, if you thought that I slapped you, it's in your head.
Reflect that back at them without offering real solutions. Or you can choose to buckle down and deliver on the kinds of things that are going to make people feel confident in their own future, in their kids' future, in their community's future, in their jobs.
In their jobs. Make people feel confident and secure in their future and their jobs, while we fire people for medical decisions based on policy that I, as Prime Minister, I can't go the entire way on this. I listened to it. It's gaslighting. It's someone who has been abusing you, saying, no, that bruise, you had that bruise before. And by the way, notice the way his voice also changes. It's getting lower. He's like, he gets more guttural, and he's using catchphrases. What was the catchphrase? It doesn't matter. We'll get it again because he repeats the same catchphrases.
Choices you have to make as a leader. Oh, yeah. Quite frankly, when
I did it for you, it's choices I had to make as a leader. You think I like doing this to you? I mean, it is abuse, mutatis mutandis. You think I like doing it? You made me hurt you. If you had just gotten the damn shot, none of this would have had to happen to you.
Mr. Poilievre's best solution to inflation is to buy cryptocurrency. That's not responsible leadership.
What the hell are you talking? What answer? What question are you answering right now? Cryptocurrency? Do you have any reflections on the protest? Cryptocurrency.
People had bought crypto when he told them that was the best way to opt out of inflation. They would have lost half of their life savings.
Oh, and you know what's amazing? Justin Trudeau, had they bought crypto last week, they would have been up 25%. I'm an idiot. Every decision I've ever made with crypto has been the wrong one. It's legalized gambling. I'm not touching it. I'm done. My investments are with a professional, not with a compulsive idiot like myself. Oh, if they had bought crypto when he said it, they'd be down 50%. Well, if they bought crypto last week, they'd be up 25%. So it depends on the time frame you want to make your statement, Trudeau. That's how it works.
That's not a solution. What we're talking about here,
rolling
rolling up our sleeves, doing the
pulling
hard
up
work,
our sleeves,
investing,
pulling up our sleeves, doing the hard work, locking you down, firing you, penalizing you. It's for your own good.
Good jobs on assembly lines like this one that are building the products that not just Canadians want, but the world wants. Doing it with cleaner energy, doing it in an environmentally responsible way, and putting workers and communities at the center of what they do.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, there are always going to be politicians out there who try to, exploit legitimate anger and concerns that people have.
Can you believe that he's making this statement expecting us to understand that he's not talking about himself? He's trying to convince us that he is not one of those politicians that exploited legitimate grievances that we have.
Out there who try to, exploit legitimate anger and concerns that people have.
Try to exploit the legitimate anger that people have. Like when he said those people are putting us all at risk, when he said those people can't get on planes and trains in a country that's 4,000 kilometers coast to coast, when he basically said people should be penalized, discriminated against, shunned. They shouldn't be tolerated. How do we tolerate these people? Oh, and he's going to lecture us about the politicians who exploit anger?
But that's not the way to get something built.
I can't do it. Okay, I can't do it. That we've done enough. I can't do it anymore. It goes on for 5 minutes of the most unhinged tirade you've ever heard. Says the guy who some people say has been on an unhinged tirade for how many minutes now? For 5 minutes. I have self-reflection, people, to a flaw, okay? I have it to a compulsive, obsessive disorder, some might say. Now, he gave this speech, and I don't know the time frame within which he gave it as relates to Jacinda, whatever her name is, or Jacinda Ardern from New Zealand resigning, tearfully resigning. We're expected to feel bad for her. I don't know when he gave it in respect of that, but I would have great difficulty believing that Trudeau did not know that Jacinda Ardern was about to resign or had already done it. And so maybe I'm reading a little too much into it, but I'm reading absolute despair. I'm reading absolute loss of control. He knows the gig is up, and the tides are turning, and people are not putting up with this horse poop anymore. I'm self-censoring because I don't want to swear, because it doesn't make me feel good when I swear, and sometimes it doesn't make people in the crowd feel good. I don't know if he knew that Jacinda Ardern had already resigned, and I suspect even if she hadn't already, he knew it was coming, because they all know it's coming now. They know they've gone too far for too long, and there's no going back. There's no walking this back at this point. They've caused harm to nations, to societies, to communities, and to people, to individuals. The people the government's there to protect you. When it's not abusing you. Oh, okay. So people in the chat said, yes, enough. Viva gonna hurl. All right, I saw a super chat. Let me bring in this super chat before I give the standard disclaimers. It's amazing how Trudeau can state things which express exactly how they act and try to pin it on his opposition. Truly an example of psychopathic actions. Thank you very much for the Rumble Rant. Super chats, YouTube takes 30% of those on YouTube. Rumble Rant has the equivalent. We're on Rumble now. We're going to go exclusive after the interview with Ezra. They take 20%. So if you want to support the channel, that's one way to do it. vivabarneslaw.locals.com is the best way to do it. And what was I going to say? Oh, yes, before I bring on Ezra for this amazing Ezra and Rebel News team is in Davos, and it's amazing. And they caught Albert Bourla by some fluke outside the perimeter, the protected perimeter of Davos. They stumbled across him on the street like Marcellus Wallace stumbled across, or that it was, oh gosh, what was his name? Bruce Willis. Butch, like Butch out of Pulp Fiction coming across Marcellus Wallace at the intersection. They just came across Albert Bourla. But before I do that, I got to thank the sponsor for today's show. Today's sponsor is Field of Greens. Did I share it yet? Here we go. Field of Greens, people. I have it. I have it here. And by the way, so everyone should know, I've had 2 cans of Red Bull in the fridge for a week. You know what that means? It means I haven't drunk them because I've substituted my unhealthy habit for a healthy habit. Most people don't know you're supposed to have 5 to 6 or 7 servings of raw fruits and vegetables a day. It helps with nutrients, antioxidants, regularity for those who are interested. Most people don't do it. In fact, most people have terrible, terrible habits. They don't exercise enough. They don't eat healthy enough. I exercise almost every day. I eat healthy every day. But this is a good habit to replace the bad habits. Field of Greens, desiccated vegetables. It's powdered greens. It's the thing. If you don't eat 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, 1 spoonful twice a day, it is 1 serving of fruits and vegetables with all the antioxidants. Full serving, fruits and vegetables, antioxidant power, boosted immunity. It is USDA organic, made in America. I always say it looks like swamp water, but swamp water is nutrient-rich water. It tastes great. It's a great habit. Go to fieldofgreens.com, promo code VIVA. You'll get 15% off your first order and 10% off a subscription. And if the link is not in the pinned comment, it will be by the time people watch this on rerun. Fieldofgreens.com. Thank you very much. And good stuff. Looks like swamp water. Tastes great. Good habits. And may those 2 cans of Red Bull stay in my fridge for weeks to come. Now I'm going to bring in Ezra. I only see a black screen, and he was saying the internet might not be great. So I said, just so long as we have the audio, it'll be good enough. I hear audio. Ezra, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm sorry the internet connection here is weak. I'm literally at a train station in Davos, and I have to get on the train in about 10 minutes. So can you hear me okay in the meantime, though?
I can hear you perfectly. It's crackling, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're doing this. Ezra, first of all, thank you so much. What you did yesterday with Avi Yamini, I don't know if they give Pulitzer Prizes. I don't know what the appropriate award for that should be. You deserve something, but just tell us what are you and your team doing in Davos right now?
Sure. Well, we're here all week covering the World Economic Forum, and to try and find out a little bit more about the organization, especially the people. And one of the ways we do that is we're on the main drag in the town. It's not a big town, and of course, there's a part that's high security. You have to be accredited. Basically, only approved voices are in. But just beyond those gates are a lot of pavilions. It's like a trade show for globalists. Everyone's there, from BlackRock to Microsoft to Facebook. And so you have these VVIPs strolling down the strip, and they have their guard down because they think they're amongst friends. And some of them I would recognize on site, like Chrystia Freeland, for example, or Mark Carney. And others, you sort of have to spot their name tag. Well, one of our entourage said, "Who is that?" Because he recognized the face, but not the name. I looked at them, I said, "Oh my God, that's Albert Bourla, the CEO of Pfizer." And he just left the green zone, the high security zone, and now he's out here within reach of us peasants. Let's just go ask him some questions. And I'm lucky that Benji spotted him. I'm lucky that I had my mic on me and our cameramen were there. And my first question was, when did he know that his vaccine did not stop transmission? Because that was the basis for all the vaccine mandates. And then soon my friend Avi Yamini joined in, and we walked and talked with him for about 3.5 minutes, which doesn't sound like very long. But when you're asking questions of someone who refuses to say a word to you, it feels like an eternity. And that was magnified by his handlers sort of jostling us and trying to get him away. And there was this one moment you can see in the video where he tries to go in some little alley or corridor, but there's a chain link fence and he doubles back. And I counted afterwards, we asked him 29 questions. Now, some of them were rhetorical questions. Will you apologize? Yeah. Although that's a real question, by the way. And, he didn't give us a single substantive answer, but we put real and fair questions to him. And the fact that he didn't say a word, he just was in stony silence, is a reminder that this fella had zero accountability for 2 years. And in fact, I think he was stunned by the experience, because I don't think he's had an unscripted media encounter in his life. And I think he was so used to obedient media. Earlier that day, he had done the rounds of the accredited media, the approved media at Davos, and obviously they weren't going to ask him about young men having heart attacks. Obviously they weren't going to ask him about myocarditis, because that would be unseemly and they might be kicked out of the club. So we asked him 29 questions that none of his regime media would ask him. And listen, it speaks for itself. Last I checked, the video's been seen 4 million times on Twitter alone. And it's really the talk of the town. Wandering around today, a lot of people, you could tell, had watched that video.
It's going to go viral. It has gone viral, and it deserves to. But watching his response, it was like watching Omar Algebra flee your other reporter in Ottawa. Just walk, smile like a buffoon, with his shit-eating grin on his face, like have a nice day. And Bourla, it's true. Your questions were more legitimate questions. Avi were rhetorical, but everyone has their style and it has its place. He wouldn't even answer when you became aware of the fact that it was not preventing transmission, which, like you observed, was the basis for vaccine mandates, because don't prevent transmission, it no longer makes any sense. He had no security on him? Not that you're a threat, but he had no security?
Well, he had a large guy with him who may have been security, but I have to tell you, the police in Switzerland are very respectful of civil liberties, more so than in Canada. So the police did not get involved at all. And my dealings with private security here is that their bark is worse than their bite. And I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was not physically stopping him. I was not touching him. I was not threatening him. I wasn't even shouting at him. I was just speaking forcefully. So I have to say that unless you're in private property where they can eject you, doing that sort of street scrum that we did is completely lawful. And in fact, I dare say that you have more freedom to do that in Switzerland with their police than in Canada. So yes, he had a big guy with him. I don't know if that was security, but he didn't do anything. And I think that was wise. I should tell you, and we haven't put the video up yet, but we had a similar scrum, a walking scrum today. And we're just putting the final touches on the video now with Greta Thunberg. These people, you can find them literally walking the streets here. And that's why we came here, because it is for a newsmaker, for a news watcher and a political talker, this is a target-rich environment. You have a lot of VVIPs. You have cabinet ministers. You have prime ministers. You have princesses. You have tycoons. Larry Fink of BlackRock is here. I had a brief question to Senator John Kerry, or former Secretary John Kerry. He had a bodyguard with him, but again, the security has a very light touch here. In fact, let me make a personal invitation to you to come to Davos next year, either with us or on your own, and just to linger in the downtown, because you would have a different list of people you would find interesting than I do. And given that there are hundreds or even thousands of interesting VVIPs, you would visually recognize quite a few, and some would be friendly and some would be hostile. But for someone who cares about the news and has strong opinions about newsmakers, it's like fishing in the best fishing hole around. Now, the fish don't necessarily like that. Albert Bourla didn't like it, but I think you personally would love the experience, and I'd be delighted to show you the ropes as much as I know them.
We'll see what the world looks like next year, Ezra. I might take you up on that. Now, one question. At the end of the interview, you said you were sort of a little out of breath. My reading of that is you were not out of breath due to physical activity. I lose my breath when I get enraged. Now, did you feel a sense of rage when you're asking them these questions? Were you nervous, or were you just overwhelmed by the moment? Were you enraged?
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about that, because I mean, we weren't going that fast, and I am fat, but I'm not that unfit. I think it was an emotional tension. For a few reasons. First of all, this is someone who I've been thinking about and talking about for 2 years, and my questions were valid. I am mad at him. I think he has a lot of explaining to do, and I think he's gotten away with terrible things. So there was some emotional anger there. Also, I was projecting and trying to think smart on the fly. Like when the video starts was about literally 5 seconds after I saw him. So I didn't have time. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. Avi and I, some of our questions weren't perfect, but I say again, we had 5 seconds notice.
Yeah.
And then we thought, and we didn't want any dead air, so to speak. We didn't want to waste a moment. So it was like we were brainstorming our questions in real time, which is a little tougher than it sounds because, like, suddenly you see Mark Carney, suddenly you see John Kerry, suddenly you see the vice president of Microsoft. So you sort of got to shift gears and think of questions, and you might only have 30 seconds. So I think it was a combination of stress, my emotional anger towards this character, and that it was a bit of physical exertion, walking quickly and projecting. Yeah, it's a bit of adrenaline because this is a VVIP, and you've got him for about 1 minute. Now, I got to tell you, I've got to step on the train, and I apologize for leaving your show soon, but I just have to get on this train. If I miss this train, I'm going to be delayed. Thank you for having me on, and I very much appreciate your support.
Absolutely, and I'm going to show some of the video, but not all of it. But Ezra, keep it up. Amazing stuff.
Thank you, my friend. Bye-bye.
All right, have a good day. All right, that's it. Oh, first of all, his questions were perfect for different reasons for all the questions, and perfect also because of its on-the-fly imperfection. If it were too polished, it wouldn't have been the same on-the-street interview. But I know that when I got that call from the government telling me that I had to quarantine my healthy 12-year-old daughter for 2 weeks because we came over the border and she's not vaccinated, even though we had recently been infected and had negative tests, I couldn't catch my breath while I'm sitting in the car because I'm like, you get that tightness in your chest where you're just enraged at the situation. Share the link to the full video. Hold on, I'm going to show some of it, but not all of it because everybody's got to go. I'm going to share it in the link. Give me 1 second to pull it up. Rebel News Confronts. No, that's my stream. Hold on 1 second. Present, share, Chrome tab. And by the way, I just read the news about Alec Baldwin charged. I haven't even read the article yet. Okay, I'm going to do this. Boom shakalaka. We're sharing it. Look at this, people. Albert Bourla. By the way, I just love to also just take random guesses. How much does that scarf cost? How much does that jacket cost? Oh, I have never been one to care about clothing.
Mr. Bourla, can I ask you, when did you know that the vaccines didn't stop transmission? How long did you know that without saying it publicly?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. No, that's not the answer. That's Albert. That's not the. Thank you very much. It's not an answer. Thank you very much is what you say to the government when they keep shipping you billions of taxpayer dollars for a product that doesn't function as intended, or as some people might believe, functions exactly as intended.
That question. I mean, we now know that the vaccines didn't stop transmission, but why did you keep it secret?
Thank you very much.
You said it was 100% effective, then 90%, then 80%, then 70%. But we now know that the vaccines.
He's so freaking cool. So well dressed, lap of luxury, Switzerland, my scarf, my hat, not my hat, my tie, my glasses.
Do not stop transmission. Why did you keep that secret?
Oh, there. By the way, there you get, look at Ezra. Like if you know Ezra, you know when he's angry.
Why did you keep that secret?
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
I won't have a nice day until I know the answer. Why did you
have a nice day? Oh, what's behind him? Palantir? Have a nice day. Thank you. I don't answer questions from you, pleb. You rabble. You're not one of us. I don't answer your questions. I poo-poo in your general direction. Here, I'll put the link in both Rumble and yeah, go watch it because I don't want you getting the entirety of the free view here. Go show it's glorious. And then you get Avi Yamini there, the badass of all badasses. I mean, everybody at Rebel News, you have to have cojones, proverbial cojones to do what they do. But I would be too afraid of just getting tackled and cuffed and arrested and tased. Don't tase me. Don't tase me, bro. But it's amazing. It goes on for 5 minutes. The extent of Albert Bourla's accountability. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Now let me go count my money. Unbelievable. So that's it. That was Ezra Levant. That's what's going on in Davos. They have a perimeter, so only the good journalists like Brian Stelter can get their way in to host panels on disinformation. If you guys don't know about that, I talked about it yesterday. So that's it. It's glorious. There's one other thing, which is equally glorious. Speaking of plebs, and I know that he's going to snip and clip this portion of the stream. As well he should, because it's glorious. For those of you who don't know Pleb, I interviewed him when we were over the Christmas holidays. He started off as a parody account and then, got into analysis because he actually has insightful things to say, even if I disagree with pretty much all of his take, which I'm convinced now is a troll on the PPC bros and vote splitting. And if you vote for Maxime Bernier in the PPC, you're re-electing Trudeau. I disagree with him on that, but I actually believe that he might be a PPC mole, getting people to go to the PPC by highlighting the fact that Pierre Poilievre might be something of a hypocrite. Something. Set that aside. He has been blocked by Rachel Gilmore, which is a feat. And he put out a video, a goodbye video, which I'm going to share with everybody. I'm not going to play. I don't even want to play any of it because I will get a copy strike for the audio. Here. He comes on to lament in a robe and no shirt to lament. It's going to be a hard video. Okay. That's all I want to show because the music stuff is bullshit. I'm not working for the copyright holder of I don't know what song that is, but I'm not working for them. So get out of there. Sorry. What I will do is go watch it. It's 3.5 minutes of the most hilarious gloriousness or the most glorious hilarity. Excuse me. You'll see. 26 minutes, 50 seconds. It's time to move over to Rumble exclusively. But let me just read this. Blanc Givre. We Quebecers and especially Montrealers have no patience for bureaucratic BS like the one Viva said enraged him. Oh, I get a call from the government. And it's some I don't want to demean. It's some buffoon with a day of training. Here are my checkpoints to tell you to imprison your healthy 12-year-old daughter. Government-sanctioned child abuse is what it would be in any other realm of the universe. Okay, I missed the super chat. Cease out or Viva, don't change. So many creators get caught up and fall in line. You are my favorite because of your passionate and have your own views. We're going to talk about this because people have accused me of censoring for the algorithm, which I've never done. I've self-censored because I don't want to be an a-hole and I don't like swearing all that much. And, I know kids do watch the show, even though, hey, kids, adults swear all the time. When adults tell kids not to swear, it's not hypocrisy. It's not hierarchy. What it is it's a subset of a rule that you don't know about. When kids swear, it sounds terrible. When adults swear, they know the context and it sounds funny. Salty Cracker is funny. Who was I listening to that was swearing the other day? I forget who. It might have been crowded. There's room for swearing as an adult, but when kids do it, it sounds terrible. But we're going to talk about the self-censorship and censorship at large when we get into Stephen Crowder Daily Wire, because there have been developments. And Barnes, for anybody who's following us at vivabarneslaw.locals.com, has an amazingly insightful position on it. Slightly different than what I think, but my goodness, do I appreciate his position. And here's a make a quote of it. When two smart people or parties disagree, chances that one party is entirely wrong and totally idiotic decrease exponentially. When two reasonably educated parties disagree on something, chances are they both have legitimate points. It's not like the type of thing where censorship, good or bad. No, it's not like hormone replacement therapy for minors who can't consent to drinking alcohol or tattoos. There might be a gray zone, but on the essence of that debate, there's no really, maybe both sides have some decent points. The exceptions aside. When it comes to the matter of Daily Wire versus Stephen Crowder, you're dealing with educated, sophisticated people who have thought out their positions. Chances are that one is entirely evil, one is entirely good, one is entirely right, one is entirely bad. Very unlikely. But by the way, C. Suter. I'm seeing Stephen Crowder everywhere. C. Suter, thank you very much. There were a couple of other here. Alec Baldwin charged with involuntary manslaughter. Dude, I got the article up in the background on Fox News. David Tomes Happy New Year, Viva. Justin Trudeau has broken the law, yet seems to be exempt from any repercussions. How is it possible? It's not illegal when the government breaks the law. That's it. That's the only subsection to that rule. It's not illegal when those who make the laws break the laws. GOV, can't disagree with that. So before we go over to Rumble exclusively, fieldofgreens.com, promo code VIVA. Thank you very much. See, I had a glass of water and I was going to do it on screen, but I don't want to spill, and I have liquids and powders around a computer, not a good idea. But link will be in the description. Viva, what is it? It's not. It's fieldofgreens.com, promo code VIVA. Okay, let us now go to Rumble exclusively in 3. The link is pinned, people, in YouTube. 2, 1. Oh, wait, I didn't do it yet.